Howdy again, it's Mr. Pete, and this is episode number 86B, the answer portion of my What Is It Mystery Tool series. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for leaving comments. So we had some great comments, some funny ones, and almost everybody knew what this was. A lot more people than I thought knew what this was. Some people knew this. We do not have a definitive answer for number one. Looks like a shoehorn. Some people thought it was for, well, all kinds of crazy uses. Some of them were funny. But it appears that the handle here was to keep it cool if this was possibly heated up for some reason. But we don't really know. So it will remain a mystery unless someone in this part of the video can identify it. Some people thought this was a staple remover for those big box staples. No, this is a staple remover. Boss stitch at that. Okay, item 2 is a no-go gauge. You know, I taped up this, and I didn't tape this up, so that was a giveaway. But actually what that means is that this side right here is the no-go, and this side is the go. So this is used for inspecting threads to see if they are within the tolerance. And this particular one is for 7/16 Unified National Fine. And to give the pitch diameter there. Also, the pitch diameters are right here. These almost look like chasers, but this is not a cutting tool. And this happens to be made by the Johnson Gauge Company in Connecticut, and there's a patent number there, so I'm going to show you the patent here presently. But first of all, I've never seen one just like this before. Let me show you a few others that are easier maybe for you to understand. I'm not sure why I'm doing this, because in a way I'm giving a demonstration. We already know what this is. It's a go-no-go gauge for threads, but let's take a look at a more commonly seen one, and this is made by Besley. This is probably hundreds of dollars. So we have a go and a no-go, and here is a sample thread that I had here in the shop, and when we screw it into this side, that's the go. However, a fella has to take quite a bit of time to do that. Look at how long it's taking me. So we know that it goes into the go, and it should not go into this one, and it doesn't. And these need to be recalibrated from time to time. Boy, that was done in '75, because these would be out either on the factory floor or in the inspection department. I'm not sure. And here's another type. And I do not have a thread to match it, but I like this. These are Dual brand, by the way. So the red would be no-go. So this is a different size. It's a 9/16 18. I did not have a thread that size, even though I got a million fasteners. But the thread should not go into the red, but it should go into the green. Let's get back to this. When Ray sent this to me, he sent this piece also. And it says for the no-go-no gauge. So I don't know if Ray put that label on there or somebody else. But the whole idea here, this would be real fast to check. And it should not go, to make sure it's in there straight. Notice my finger there. It should not fall through. I believe this is the way it's supposed to work. And then over on this side, which is the go, boy, I feel so clumsy this morning. That's because it's raining out. Anyway, on this one, I'm not sure, but to me, these two little jaws, whatever they are, should allow this to fall through into here and then back it out. I'm not positive on that. And then of course we got a hole right here. to determine that it's a 7/16. And I did the same thing with a commercially made bolt, and it was an accurate one, as accurate as this test piece here, unless both of these are off. So let's take a look real quickly at the patent for those that might be interested. Okay, there's the patent number in the upper right hand corner, and it was patented by Mr. Johnson. And it's called a snap type gauge, and that was 1947. Well, it was filed in 43, just 2 months before I was born, but I guess it not approved till 47, till after the war was over. And you can look this up on Google Patents if you would want to study it some more. And there's an awful lot of text along with this. I didn't read that. And there's signatures down there. Paul Johnson. About half the people out there knew the answer to this. Some just thought it was a scraper for scraping, put a blade in here and scraping whatever. But it is, well, that's not going to show up. It's a general brand, but it might have been under other names too. Number 610 or, yeah, 610. Plane sharpener, plain blade, plain iron sharpener, or chisel sharpener. So used for sharpening. This is a plain iron, of course, and here's a chisel. Let me set this up real quickly for you. These are pretty common. We got rollers right here. Let's step over to the other bench. Okay, the plain iron is held in there like this. Now this one is hopelessly hacked up by Bubba. It would need to be ground before you could hone this, and there's chips in it. But the whole idea here is you got your oil stone or your bench stone, and the rollers will just ride on your bench. But you have to determine the angle. I don't even remember the angle of a plain iron, but you would set it at the correct angle and be able to hone it. Put some oil on the stone. Many companies made similar products with the same general principle. And now I've set it up with a dull chisel, but there's big chips in there caused by Bubba. But I think I was the Bubba. And it, again, set the angle correctly. But this is really only for finishing. You got to grind it if there's a lot of material to remove. But you could get a very consistent angle with this. This thing's wanting to steer me. So that's what item 3 is. I was shocked at how many people knew what this is, and of course it's a multiple spindle attachment for drilling 2 holes at a time, and this goes right up on the quill of your. And there will be a standalone video on this, so I'm not going to talk too much about it in the future, so watch for that. But looking at the labels, which I had covered up, you can see that it is a multi-drill Commander Johansson, made in Northbrook, Illinois. And there it tells how to use it. And by the way, it's a model 400. You know, this is all about production. If you could drill 2 holes in the same time that it takes to drill 1 hole, wouldn't that be a miracle? And they made these in, I believe, 3, 4, and 5 spindle as well. Put that in the comments. Many other companies made these, some much, much larger. This is a light-duty one. Matter of fact, it says it's for 1/8 inch in steel. 2 drills would go in here. There were no collets, so I've made a couple that I will use in the demonstration. Now, one more thing. I just loosened up these 2 nuts here, and you can see that there's a gearing system that allows the 2 spindles to be as close as 1 1/4 inches on center to one another, or all the way out for both of them would be 4 inches on this particular model. They made a lot of different models, I said that. So, you know, we got gears in here and we got gears in here, and it'd be interesting to see that. Plus, like I said, I'm going to drill some actual holes. I would think this would be $800. They still make these. It might be a different company, I'm not sure. Procunier made them, as did a lot of other companies. Let me show you real quickly some other pictures with similar items with more spindles. And these were often, or probably most of the time, used in conjunction with drill jigs. 2 holes at a time. Awesome. It appears that Johansson made complete drill presses with multiple spindles. Here's one that has, I think, 6 spindles. I can't really count them. Boy, look at that one. How many spindles? About 10? For your information, this is out of a Delta 1958 catalog, and these are called multiple spindle drills. I always thought they were called gang drills, but I guess I got that wrong, and you could get as many heads as you want, and I've used these when I worked for Osborne Engineering. The whole idea, you would have a drill fixture, and you might do your drilling of a certain size on number 1 and another size on number 2, and then do your tapping on maybe countersinking, and then tap, whatever the operations are. Sometimes there would be more than one person operating these machines shoulder to shoulder, but often the fixture or the work was just slid from one spindle to the other. And the last item, number 5, which was a bonus, it's not really tool related, but I showed cornfields with missing rows. Now those, of course, are fields of seed corn. So they're crossbreeding, they're making various strains of seed. It might be Roundup resistant, or designed to be used in Canada or all over the world. A lot of different varieties there. So right now I'm going to go upstairs to the computer and I'll do a voiceover of some of those fields and see if you can understand this. A lot of local people are clueless or don't care when they drive by those fields, but I'm interested in just about everything. I hope you are. See you momentarily. Okay, this is a field of seed corn. They have removed the end rows to facilitate the harvest, but this is really a sex lesson here. The 2 rows with tassels on are the male plants, and the other 4 rows that have been detasseled are the female rows, and their ears are the ones that will be harvested. The male plants with tassels will be chopped out. This field is about 2 miles away from the other one, and this grower chose to chop out or remove the 2 rows, which are called bull rows. The males are the bull rows, and then the females again are detasseled. It's all about cross-pollination and genetics, and some farmers ask that other farmers in the area do not grow certain varieties next to these fields because it can cause contamination. They do not use combines to harvest. They use corn pickers, and the ears are taken to the plant where they are sorted and graded and processed. This seed corn plant is about 5 miles from my home. The ears of corn are dried, as I said, and sorted and tested and bagged, and it's called Remington seeds, although it's had about 10 different names since I've lived in this area. It's shipped all over the world.